Yeah. Yo, Chris, I got you, my genius. You already know.
I am your host, JR Megatron, back for another episode, and today we are going over Armani Caesar's 2022 record called The Liz 2. That's right, I skipped one, and I skipped the rest of her records. Reason I did that is because this is the first Armani Caesar album that I heard, and I guess you could say it was kind of by accident, you know. I had it on. Let's see. I was in my lady's car back when we were first dating, and she used to listen to, or I don't know. She still does. She's got these female rappers, you know, like Cardi B and what is it, Megan the Stallion and whatnot. And so this playlist just started going off, and I heard Armani Caesar on there, and I kept note because I liked what I heard, and so I started listening to the record a few months ago, and I thought, man, this album is dope. It took a little bit to grow on me, but you know, after a while, I started to appreciate it and understand the record. And the artist herself, Armani Caesar. So that's kind of how I found the Liz 2. It's got this record cover with Elizabeth Taylor on there with three eyes. She's got the third eye going on. And I'm not sure what that third eye signifies. I haven't dug deep enough in interviews or anything like that. But I dig the cover. It's kind of classy, you know. The artwork on the Liz 1 also has Elizabeth Taylor on there. So she's got some kind of, I guess you could say, admiration for Elizabeth Taylor. Hey, it could be worse. Anyways, it goes off well though with the Elizabeth Taylor samples and whatever. Armani Caesar is from Buffalo, and I've never heard a hip hop artist from Buffalo, not on purpose, anyways. So this was new to me, and the record company Griselda. I'm not sure if it's just Griselda Records. It is. It's Griselda Records. Some other names on there that I at least kind of recognized was Westside Gun and Benny the Butcher. I think they're on Griselda. Don't quote me on that. I'm not that familiar with the record label. But those are a couple of the at least features on this record. So this came out in 2022. A little, what else about Armani? You know, she kind of came up, nothing too different these days of female rappers. You know, she stripped for a while. I think she went to college in South Carolina and didn't finish there because she got the call from Griselda Records, and she's been rapping with them ever since. Her previous stuff I've briefly heard, and it was kind of upbeat. I think she was recording up there in South Carolina, so the style is a lot different. But being a Buffalo hip hop artist, I guess it's a little bit grimier. Because that's what these records are. They're a little bit grimier now. So, hey, thank God, really. Because, I mean, her other efforts weren't bad, but they didn't catch my attention, you know. They didn't grab me. I would have just, if I heard those other records first, I would probably just said, another female, whatever. But I heard the Liz 2 first, and this is the one that made me a fan. So, you know, let's answer a couple questions while we run through this record. You know, is it dope? Is it dope for a female or just in general? And how does she rank among the other female MCs, you know? So we'll just dive in, man. Let's check it out here. So I got the Liz 2 up here on Spotify. If you're watching the video, you'll just see the tracks move along. But if you're just checking out, or did I say Spotify? If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the tracks move along here. But if you're just listening on Spotify or whatever, you'll know where we're at. I'll just name the tracks out here. You know, we got the intro. I don't really like to score intros too much. But as long as they don't get annoying, then I don't score them low. And this one has an interview with Barbara Walters and Elizabeth Taylor. Couple old ladies, man. it's a funny intro, and it just kind of sets the mood for what we're shooting for here. She's a little bit arrogant and flossy, talking about jewelry, whatever. So, that's the intro. We'll go ahead and skip on to the next track here, Paula Deen. This one has West Side Gun in it, and this is the first time I ever heard West Side Gun. Paula Deen, I think it's a little bit of a flex of her skills. It's kind of I don't know. She doesn't really need to introduce herself anymore. A lot of people by this time already know who she is, so we're not expecting like a big story here of like, this is who I am. She's just kind of coming along almost battle-like. It's a short track. A lot of these tracks are pretty short, to be honest. But, West Side Gun, he comes up, and first time I ever heard him, he sounded all right. He doesn't ruin the song, and actually I might check him out. I like enough of what I'm hearing from this guy that I might check him out. I do like the track, though. It's a good first song. It's slow, but it's heavy. I like it. It's not my favorite one, but it's a good way to start it. And then, after that, we go into Deanna featuring Kodak Black, another one of these rappers that I've never heard before. I'm an old man, what can I say? My age is shown here. But whatever, Kodak Black. You might be familiar with them. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is there anything on West Side Gun or Kodak Black that I should be checking out that I'm missing out on? Back to this, though. Man, Deanna. This is one of my favorite tracks for sure, man. It's a dope beat. It's got a sick hook. She's got a real smooth flow. It's almost like a whisper flow. Who did that whisper rap first? Was that LL Cool J? Either way, man, it's calm, it's collected, it's cool. And it's got a hell of a hook, man. I don't know who's doing the hook. She might be doing the majority of the singing on this record. She's got skills, though. She's got skills, man. She can sing, she can rap. You really start to get under her spell, this vibe, caught up in the story or the mood that she's trying to get you in. I like the song, though. It's pretty vintage. And you'll find that there's a lot of vintage here, man. It's a lot of vintage. It's kind of grimy, but vintage. Polished, though. Kodak Black is alright, man. I'll have to check him out, though. So, I like that song, man. I definitely give that song a 10 or one of my favorites. That's for sure. We're going to give it a heart here on the Spotify. And actually, that song, Deanna, has over 2 million plays. That is by far her most played track. Was that single hot? Was that in the clubs? Y'all let me know, man. Did I miss out? Who knows? Mel Gibson is after this skit. The skit is alright, It's a little musical, really. So Mel Gibson here. I like the name of the track, Mel Gibson. What can you do? It's got a mean piano, Kind of reminds me of those old Dr. Dre tracks from NWA. He was good on that piano. It's a real simple beat, man. It's got some simple drums, but Armani definitely steals the show here. She comes off as arrogant, really proves here that she might be maybe one of the most arrogant rappers, female rappers, but maybe the best at it too. And when I say arrogant, I'm not trying to say it's in a disrespectful way. I love it, I love a rapper with some confidence, some mojo, It's badass. It's gangsta rap, baby. What do you want? Anyways, I like the track. Not my favorite, of course. So far, I'm thinking that Deanna is the best track. Let's go ahead and check out $100 here. $100 Hiccup. This one features Benny the Butcher and Steve. Oh, what is that name? Steve Godcooks. Interesting name. So, it's a slow track here. Another slow track, man. It's a mean beat, though. It's heating up the project at this point. You're well into it now. You know, you're kind of getting it. Benny the Butcher, man, he sounds dope on here, man. I like his flow. I like his writing, his delivery. I checked out some of his music, but I didn't really find anything that, I don't know, made me feel like going any farther. You guys let me know if I'm missing out, you know. What's Benny the Butcher's best album, best song? I'll check it out, man. Because I want to be a fan, you know. He's got this flow on here where he kind of reminds me of Dr. Dre. That's just what it is, man. It just reminds me of Dr. Dre. It's a dope beat, though. I dig it, you know. What can we say, man? It's a dope, mean beat. A little eerie even, you know. But I like the way the Benny the Butcher flows on here with Armani. And I wouldn't mind hearing more of Benny and Armani. Let's check out the next track here. The 7th track of this project, Survival of the Illest, featuring Denny Lalafar. So, before I get any further on this, the guys who are producing, I haven't even mentioned it, but we got Camouflage Monk. There's a lot of Camouflage Monk and Denny LaFleur. Denny LaFleur. I'm going to assume it's Denny LaFleur. Survival of the Illest is Denny LaFleur. This is one of the shining beats of the record, really. It's an eerie beat. It goes well with their persona. And, you know, what is her persona, though? I don't know, man. It's like she's walking this fine line of being Lil' Kim hardcore, but still, street respectable. I don't think she's hardcore like Lil' Kim. I think she's just street, you know. But I like the lyrics on here. Catch flights, not feelings. That's a dope line, you know. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this track. Survival of the Illest. This is one of my favorite tracks, man. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a heart on the Spotify. One of my favorite tracks here. Queen City. I love this beat, man. Queen City. This one I would also put on my my top tracks on my playlist. It's really East Coast sounding, almost like East Coast elevator music or something, you know. And man, what a great hook we got here, you know. Armani Caesar is just so versatile and creative, and it really comes out through on this record. This isn't really like the whisper mumble rap or anything like that. It's just like a smooth, arrogant flow. Effortless, you could say. And then when she comes up on the hook, you could just see that this woman has got skills, man, to be a star. Her voice is great. She can sing, and she's rapping well. So it's just a sweet track. It's a sweet beat, sweet hook. Great track. We can move on, though. You know, let's continue. Let's continue marching on this record here. We got Liz Claiborne Jr. 1 and 2. I have no idea why this is titled Liz Claiborne Jr. 1 and 2. Let me think about this. There was an interview out there with her where I think she liked the song and wanted it on the record, but maybe wanted it on another record or something. There's a story behind this track, but it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you how much I like the track. It's cool. It's got some East Coast flavor. You know, by now we know who she is, you know. Stripper stories come out a bit, you know, whatever. There's not really a hook here, but there's a break with the creative skit, if you can call it that. But the beat the track is pretty creative, man. It's unlinear, and it really just shows off her skills and her charisma. It really shines on this track. So I'm pretty sure that this track switches it up. That could explain the 1 and the 2 on this title here. The beat switches up. It's almost like it just gets slower, like slow motion or underwater or something. Interesting track name. It's a good track though, man. I like it. Next track though, Meth and Mary. Damn, what a stellar track. Definitely one of my favorites. It's just a perfect song, man. The melody, her flow, the hook, it's catchy. The beat is vintage. It's vintage, but it's modern. It's genius. If you ever caught and you were dirty, I would hold your guns. If ever you got caught and you were dirty, I will hold your drugs. Damn, it's just a badass hook. The way that she flows, there's no whisper, mumble, or smooth here, man. She's just on point. She's got a rhythm. So, Meth and Mary, I love this song. It's probably my favorite song on here. I'd say, we'll think about it, man, but that could be the crown jewel of this track, or this project. Love this song. All right, Ice Age. Man, what a crazy track here. It's slow like molasses, but this one, she gets gangsta on. There's not even a real hook here. So it's a kind of a short song, it's a 2-minute track. I think if you listen to the way that she just flows, she likes to jump in with some extra vocals, like another layer of vocals in the back. She does that on a lot of her songs. She's pretty good at it. Some people just really aren't. It's a fine beat, though. Ice Age, you could probably find some of her best lyrics on here, in my opinion. Stay hammered up, gets a little gangsta, stamina up, drums, and just check it out, man. We get to the next track here, First Wives Club, and it slows down a lot. It's a slow jam. What is that, like a saxophone in the back there, man? This is vintage jazz or something. And just like want to sing along with it. I'm not your bitch. What a dope track. So her voice is excellent here, man. It really just pours over your speakers and headphones. Like, it's silky, it's easy. And then after the track is done, you might ask yourself, was that even rap? Let me take a moment to just listen here. Listen here. It's not a long song either, but it's long enough. None of these tracks really overstay their welcome. Oh. And man, she just starts off this track. Wow. What a voice. This is from the streets of Buffalo, man. She's a gem. All right, man. We're way halfway through this record now. We're on track 13. This is called Big Mood. Camouflage Monk again. By the way, Camouflage Monk was best or First Wives Club. Major props. Meth and Mary, Camouflage Monk. I gotta check out this Camouflage Monk guy. Let's check him out here. So, these are his popular songs here, man. I don't recognize any of them. Y'all let me know if there's anything on Camouflage Monk that you highly recommend, because I will check it out. And while we're here, man, let's check out Armani Caesar's web presence here, man. She's got a website, ArmaniCaesar.com. You can see it on the video here, but we'll talk about it later. So, Big Move, short track, it's a smooth beat, you know. The drums, I don't know, is that a guitar or a I don't know, the keys back there, they're sick, man. They're sick. It's almost like a harp. Next track, we got Conway the Machine on El Puro. It's probably supposed to be said like Spanish. El Puro. The Pure. Featuring Conway the Machine. Who produces this one? Camouflage Monk is back. What can I say, man? This is vintage too. Vintage but polished, man. It's a good track. Is it a track filler? I can't skip it, man. It's got some nice loops. You know, I would give it an 8 out of a 10. Do you have those tracks that they're not memorable, but they're not really offensive? They kind of are just like little bridges from your favorite tracks to your favorite tracks or whatever. I guess you could kind of consider this like that. It's a dope track though, El Puro. Camouflage Monk is on something, man. He's got the momentum and he's killing it. Then we get to the second to the last track here. That Money Maker. Camouflage Monk on the beat. Another slow track, just slow. This must have been quite the change from her old upbeat stuff that she did before Griselda Records. I'm gonna have to check it out. But you know, I'm listening to her lyrics on here, her flow, and man, she's really showing off. Really showing off. She's got that arrogant flow, those arrogant lyrics, just on top of the world, first lady of the record label flow. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. It's a good breather track, though, you know, because we're getting to the end of this record. Now, there's 2 more tracks, but track 17, Psych, is a bonus track. And it kind of sounds like one, so we're not going to count it, but we'll talk about it. Let's go to the final track, Snowfall. So we got her singing. We'll start off with the voice. The beat is on some of that vintage elevator, East Coast grimy shit. Can you call it grimy, polished, jazzy? Man, she's really blessing this track with their singing. Or is it rapping? It's gold, man. She's gold. This is a cool beat. It really doesn't steal the spotlight. It lets her shine. And she's good at it. So, it's a great way to end the record, really. It makes you wanting more. Like, these songs are short, but they're not too short. Like, they don't overstay their welcome. And I kind of think that the whole record is like that. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I mean, in the end, this record is like 40 minutes. Not even. And it's short enough that it doesn't let you be offended by any of it. But you're almost not satisfied, like you want more. So I think they're onto something here. It's pretty genius because after this listen, I was like, I gotta check out this Armani Caesar and dig up more of her records, and I did. So she's getting some plays. I don't know if that's working with everybody, but it worked with me. And just for kicks, we'll talk about the bonus track here called Psych featuring Kingdom Come and Beat King. By the way, that Moneymaker, Camouflage Monk. And Snowfall, Camouflage Monk. This one right here is by Beat King. I mean, it sounds like, what's her name? I'm trying to think of that female rapper. It doesn't matter. She's a new school rapper. She kind of sounds like that, you know. This track sounds a little bit out of place, but it's a bonus track, so you can't get mad, whatever. I'm not really counting this track in the score since it is a bonus track, but it ain't the worst thing in the world. Okay. That chick who I thought she sounded like, her name is Saweetie. That's what I was thinking about. It sounds like a Saweetie type of track. And it works for Sweetie. But here, it just doesn't go with the entire story of the Liz 2. I do like the 2 Live Crew references or the nods to 2 Live Crew on this final track. Just a simple track. And you can tell because this one is produced by somebody else that isn't Derringer, Denny LaFleur, or Camouflage Monk. It's totally out of left field. So, let's wrap it up here. Let's conclude here. This is the first album I've ever heard come out of Buffalo. So my opinion of Buffalo is that it's grimy, it's arrogant, but it's polished. And maybe not the city, but at least the sound that Buffalo has. And I'm assuming that Griselda Records is the at the forefront of Buffalo. I'd have to check out their other artists, but yeah, I don't know where she stands as the best or as a contender for best female rapper. Obviously, she's underrated because we only hear about like Cardi B and maybe Megan Thee Stallion and whoever else. And this Armani Caesar bubbled up on my Spotify by accident. It was just one of those random things. So I wouldn't even have known to look for Armani Caesar. Again, though, I'm years out of looking for new rappers every week. I'm one of those 90s hip hop guys, I love that death row ruthless shit. So this, finding artists like this is harder for me. Usually I'm not impressed. I'm impressed today. Armani Caesar is impressive. I was impressed when I heard it. She's somebody that's on my radar now. I'll be checking her out in the future. She's got some, and let's just check out her web presence here. What is this? ArmaniCaesar.com. Yeah, it's the typical type of web presence, except for her about page here is just one big graphic that I think they pulled out of a magazine or something. I don't know. Do you need a web designer? Call me, Armani. But check out some of this merch that she has. The Liz 2 CD. There's an autographed version of it somewhere on this website. And it goes for $50. Liz signed. I got to get that, man. The shirts are all right, I don't know. I wouldn't go around sporting one. But I do like the poster. I think the poster's dope. I wish they had a poster of her album covers, though, because those are iconic. There was this one time, what was it on? I was watching WrestleMania, and there was someone in the crowd that had an Armani Caesar, the Liz 2 t-shirt on. I was like, what? They make those? I know, it was WrestleMania. Don't ask. But I noticed that shirt, man. It's a decent website. There's some good stuff on here to get. I don't know. I think we could go with another poster back here or something. We got to get some merch in a shelf up here, man. But, yeah, what can you say? Armani Caesar, the Liz 2. I liked the album. For me, I'm going to score the album a 9. It's a 9 when I average out all the tracks on here. I'm really impressed with the amount of 10s. Like if I went and gave you the score for each song, there's an impressive amount of 10s on here. But it's not a flawless album, it's not, it doesn't get a flawless victory or anything. Some of the tracks aren't offensive, aren't whack, but man, if all the tracks are like Meth and Mary or what other notables did we find from there? Queen City, Survival of the Littest, Diana. Jeez, those are mind-blowing tracks. Mind-blowing. But every track can't be mind-blowing, can it? I don't know. I don't know how old Armani is, but I'm hoping that we get a Liz 3. You got to have a trilogy. You got to finish this off. But, one can dream, right? One can dream. So, that'll be a wrap, man. I think we are going to end it there, or else I'm just going to start just really talking nothing here. You know how I feel about the record. You know how I found it. Check it out, man. Highly recommended. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Check out our podcast, too, where I bring the show to you. And New Music Mondays every week, where we get some new gangsta shit from the OGs, baby. The OGs in the rap game only. So hit me up on the Facebook. You know where to find me. And Gangsta Rap Odyssey at gmail.com. And I got to give a shout out to the homeboy Chris Dorado, who provided the track for this week's episode. It's called No Apology Letters. You can check him out on Spotify. I'll post a link in the show notes. But Chris Dorado, much props, man. No Apology Letters. Check it out. Featuring Trife Diesel. Right there on your Spotify, baby. Hey, this is the Gangsta Rap Odyssey, and we out. Peace.
But it's me they call when you shot and need attention and say help me, Lord. I don't see no competitors. Most niggas they say nice, never met a predator. Talk shit, it's on site. No apology letters, whole click, go ape shit. No apostrophe, fella. There's no continuation after that. Just white chalk and yellow tape. Aftermath. I'm from banging on the wall. You need a hall pass. I'm true school, good detention. After class. No apologies. I don't wanna hear no apologies. No sorries, and can I please? No apologies, nigga, please. No apologies. I don't wanna hear no apologies. No sorries, and can I please? No sorries,
Y'all niggas better realize you see the brilliance in me. I never claimed to be the illest nor the realest MC. I'm associated with killers on a millionth degree. So raise your hand sure if you feel you agree. I'm like Wyatt Earp, frequently spotted rocking the flyest shirts with a bitch holding the grip inside a designer purse. Pop out tires, pop out irons burst, no permit. Light up your strip just like some fireworks. Liars curse, never knock it until you try it first. Niggas get to talking lopsided, they gon' lie in the dirt. Everybody quiet in church while I recite a verse. I'm a live wire, they called me sire when I was birthed. Bless the crowd with holy water, they bout to die of thirst. Open up the floodgates, go out and buy the merch. Log on, browse through the web where all the spiders lurk. Roll up a fat easy water and inspire to serve. I'm about to rain and put the game on a high alert. Spit my darts clearly when speaking to the entire earth. The flow is priceless, you'll never value what I am worth. You want it first, you gotta put in work, nigga. No apologies. I don't wanna hear no apologies. No sorries, and can I please? No apologies, nigga, please. No apologies. I don't wanna hear no apologies. No sorries, and can I please? No sorries, nigga.